Each year, I face a lot of problems with squirrels and other rodent critters eating up all my fruits and vegetables, mostly my pears and my figs. You can see half-eaten pears all over the squirrel, basically all done by this one squirrel. And it eats right through any bird protection mesh bag I put on the pears. And even if I were to somehow be able to protect them, the fruit grows so tall on the tree that I cannot reach all of them. I also had a lot of problems with, I'm pretty sure, what were either squirrels or rats eating up my corn as well, so that suffered a lot of damage. So I needed to figure out a way that could actually scare away rodents, and the best thing I could think of was some sort of device that makes a sound and tries to scare these rodents and squirrels away. So I decided to make a motion detector that scares these animals away, and wanted to do that through playing some sort of sound, like an owl screeching or a dog barking. So I gathered all sorts of different items I would need, like sensors, the speakers, and also solar panels and batteries, so this is completely rechargeable through solar power. Now the first part of the build process was to start wiring everything on the breadboard and test if every single sensor is working individually. First, I tested the PIR sensor, which detects the change in heat. And after confirming that the sensor was working properly, I moved on to the radar sensor to see if this works properly as well. Now, the reason I'm using the PIR and the radar sensor is so that it doesn't falsely trigger randomly. Outside in the heat, there's chances the PIR might randomly trigger, and the radar will also randomly trigger. Having both makes sure that it's only triggering when something is actually moving in front of them, like an animal. Next, I started configuring the speakers. And this is the first time I soldered. I never knew how to solder before, since I had never soldered before. But before I even started, I realized I had a problem, that I didn't have a proper connection between the charger module and the solar panels, so I had to order a different pigtail connection before I could start. So while that was delivering, I downloaded many different sounds that I was sure would deter these animals. There were mostly hawks screeching, some owl hoots, some coyotes howling, and I also added some random crashing sounds to test if those would work as well. So I downloaded the sounds and put them on the DF Player Mini, which is what plays the sounds through the speakers. Now, doing these two simple solders actually took me much longer than expected. It was my first time, but I was able to properly complete it with a secure solder. After that, I had to wire all the pieces together on the breadboard, including adding a resistor and then connecting the speaker, and after that was done, this whole section of the project was done. But when I tried to see if any sound came out of the speakers, I ran into a problem that took me a while to solve. It'd been 2 days since I tried to troubleshoot why these two DF Player Minis weren't working, and it turns out they were faulty. After a lot of troubleshooting, I realized that these were the issues, not the code or anything else itself. So I bought a new one, this one right here, which is from the actual DF Robot website, still on Amazon, and this one worked, and it makes a sound. It's running now. So now it successfully randomly plays any one of the 17 sounds that I downloaded every time the two sensors pick up something. So after I finished writing the code, which basically said that if both of these sensors, the PIR and the radar sensor, detect a motion within the same 3-second interval, then they play a sound. And there's also a 20-second cooldown between the sound. So if the same thing moves twice, it doesn't immediately trigger again. See that? The radar keeps triggering. If I place my hand in front here, this is a squirrel distress call. Again. That was just a bunch of different items clashing together to see if it could scare something away. Now, it might seem useless that the PIR sensor is the only thing that's determining whether or not it plays a sound, but outside in the heat, this PIR sensor might randomly trigger because of changes in temperature, and that's when the radar sensor helps to reduce false triggers from the wind. Now that that part was done, I needed to start working on the battery system, which I wanted to make solar powered, so it's completely self-reliant. And after a while of struggling again with soldering, I attached the battery holders to this chip, which I then connected to the breadboard. I decided to connect two separate battery holders together because I had two batteries, and that meant more storage capacity and longer lasting power. Then I connected the solar power to the USB-C pigtail so I can connect it to the battery. I'm just laying this straight on the ground outside, and I don't know if you can see, but you can see a small red LED light over here. There, you can see it better now. And this means it's charging. So the solar panel is giving power to this. So the solar panel is giving power to this. This stores the power and delivers to this, and the sensors are working as well. Now this is my final product. You can see I've made holes, pretty bad holes. I was going to put a cable gland, but I just decided not to. I have the speaker here, the PIR sensor here, solar panel on top. The radar sensor is inside the box because that can sense through objects. Now inside is everything as before. We have the solar panel wire to the batteries, all these other components. This is the radar sensor. I disconnected the energy system because it would keep making noises because it would detect me if I plugged it in. So let's plug it in and test it. That's the sound of a hog screeching. Now that everything was done, I could finally test this project. But since it took me a couple weeks, the problem moved on from the pears to the figs. No matter how many mesh bags I'd put on my figs, something would just keep eating them off, even through the bags. So I decided to place the box right next to a ripening fig, and I put one of my cameras next to it to see what happens throughout the night. Now my suspicion was that it was the squirrels, just like I ate the pears, they ate the figs through the bags. So I was very surprised to see that it was actually a mouse. So I can happily say that this project was a success. It detected the mouse and randomly played one of the sounds, and the mouse did run away. Now what happened next is pretty interesting. After a few times, the mouse figured out that the sound wasn't an actual threat and just ignored it. That's called habituation, and it's a known weakness of every sound-based deterrent, even the commercial ones that you buy online. You can see the mouse run away a little bit, still fearful, and then it comes back after realizing there's no actual threat. Now the mouse still ran away from the sounds, as you can see here. I'm guessing for the mouse, its need to eat the fruit outweighs its fear of the sounds. And after about 7 times, it wasn't afraid at all, and it just stood there even if the sound was playing. So the sound works to scare animals off initially, but to keep it working long term, I need to add more unpredictability. A second attached deterrent like flashing lights or a physical startle. This way the mouse never learns it's safe. The next day, I wanted to see if the actual squirrel itself will be deterred. It lives in this tree over here, and that's the whole reason I set out to start this project. So I put a couple figs on the fence and set up the project and to see if the squirrels would be scared as well. Unsurprisingly, the same 2 mouses made its way up the fence and continued eating the figs, so I had to tape it down to see if they would at least last through the morning, in hopes that the squirrel would come and at least try to attempt to eat the figs. But I guess the mouse really wanted the figs, because even through the sounds, they continued to chew off the tape and take both the remaining fig pieces. I could see the timestamps on the footage, and throughout the entire night until about 5 a.m., it kept trying to take off the tape. It would run away a little bit when it heard the sounds and come right back and continue to try to snatch away the figs. I would still say that this project worked. It scared the rat off at first, and you saw it run every time. That was the main goal of the project. But the rodents are smart enough to know that the sound wasn't actually dangerous. And this leads to habituation, as I mentioned. This is a problem for every sound deterrent. So if I needed to make this better, like I mentioned, I need to add some sort of light or physical startle. But for now, I think this was a solid first build. And honestly, watching the rat run away and figure out my whole system was the most interesting part of the whole project.